Man United fans. Now, we know that you're in 6th place. You're only 7 points off the top. Could they?
No.
We're going to do a complete squad evaluation and decide who stays and who gets the boot, with the caveat of who should still be at the club in 5 years' time. Let's start off with the goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think it's an improving picture there, mate, actually.
I agree, and I think this is goalkeeper. I think often when you do these things, guys, if you are content creators out there, be careful. One must beware the goalkeeper chat, because you talk too much about the goalkeeper, and then you find yourself running out of time for the other stuff. Yeah. That said, obviously it's Onana, 27 years old, or Bayinde. Do you think he's the next coming of Levi Yashin?
We haven't seen him play.
Exactly. So it's probably Onana, right? Yeah. I think he has been improved recently.
Definitely.
What a
lot calmer,
a lot more calmer,
composed.
Yep,
and he's making some good saves, some big saves, and yeah, improving picture there. So I'm definite set.
Okay, right back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 25 currently, versus Diogo Dalot. I think it's a great debate. So 25-year-old versus 24-year-old. Wan-Bissaka, still young, 25, has developed and improved, I would say, over the last 12 months.
Definitely. Large development. Like, I think he is one of the most improved players under Erik Ten Hag at the club.
Yeah. I heard a sentence the other day and someone said, we're missing Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And I thought,
Definitely.
Wow.
United have missed him massively.
Wow.
Him and Luke Shaw, like, as soon as he's come back in these last 2 weeks, definitely you can spot the difference. Yeah, as a starter, definitely I would have Aaron Wan-Bissaka starting in Man United's best 11 right now.
Why?
I think he's a more competent defender. I think he concentrates more in the defensive phase. I think that is one thing you can level at Dalot. He does have a little bit of a sleep tendency at that back post when the ball's played over his head. I actually think he's become a little bit underrated on the ball, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think that people watch him and go, oh, he's not very aesthetically pleasing, which he's not. You know, he can be a little bit clumsy on the ball.
Leggy,
but his ball retention is actually very good, and he's actually very intelligent on the ball. The little reverse ball away at Copenhagen,
yeah,
for
I was going to say that, yeah.
Like, he's never going to strike the ball like Dalot. Like, Dalot can whip a ball, and as you've seen, can score a screamer. But is that what I want from my right back, what Dalot can give me? I think I would probably just side with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but it's quite close, that position.
Right side of centre-back. Interesting.
At the moment, it's Harold.
Okay,
Definitely.
all right,
Definitely.
here we go. Raphael Varane, who is 30, versus Harry Maguire, who's also 30.
Maguire, over the last 4 or 5 games, has probably been Man United's best player. I think he has... Do you know what? I think you've got to take your hat off to Harry Maguire. Like, he gets a lot of hate, probably bordering on the ridiculous.
Is he out of the worst of that?
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you know what I mean?
I really hope so, because he is the epitome of a top professional.
Great pro.
Yeah, like, he has had to deal with so much rubbish from the fans. Not necessarily always Man United fans either. Neutrals love to pile on Harry Maguire, don't they? He become this sort of weird cult meme figure. He has kept his head down. You never see him moaning in the press. You never see him moaning on the sidelines. He comes in, he does a job, sometimes ineffectively, but this season, effectively. He's been United's best centre-back this season. His distribution from deep has been excellent. And because we're not playing quite such a high line without Lisandro Martinez, he looks good. He does look good.
Yeah. So would you pick, for the next 5 years, do you pick Maguire over Varane? Odd time for Varane. Not really sure what's going on there.
The right centre-back role between him and Maguire. Last season he was on it. This season, so far, it's been Maguire. But I could see that changing based on form.
You're suggesting to me, forget the name, forget the age, because that's a prime age for a centre-back.
I think
and that's
you've got
a prime name for a centre-back.
It is, but we're talking about one of... I have loved Varane throughout his career, and I think he's still got loads to offer Manchester United. I think he's a good centre-back, but I think injuries do eventually catch up with you a little bit, and he has been notoriously plagued with injuries throughout his career, and is being plagued again at Manchester United. And I just think he's out of form. And I think Maguire has earned that shirt and at the moment deserves that shirt.
Fair enough. Left-sided centre-back, Victor Lindelof, fresh off the back of a goal.
Again, he's not a left-sided centre-back, is he? I think he's probably third choice left-sided centre-back. I think it actually goes Martinez, Luke Shaw, Lindelof.
I think it's an easy one. Obviously, you go with Martinez as your first.
You know, if he was playing in one of the centre-back roles at Man City or at Arsenal, I think we'd all be going.
Left-back, Luke Shaw, 28 years old.
No doubt.
Tyrell Malacia.
United have missed Shaw more than any player this season, I think.
Incredible, really.
But his build-up is just like, well, yeah, incredible. But equally, he was awesome under Ten Hag last year.
I think Luke Shaw has been brilliant for a really long time, and we'll get onto it. Again, the same idea of one player making another player look better. Rashford is missing him
Definitely
so much.
yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And I tell you who else I think made Luke Shaw better last season was Tara Malacia. I think Shaw works way better when he's got competition for his place. Like, when there is pressure on him to perform, he's at his absolute best. That's why I think he's so good for England. When Chilwell's there and it's like, I'm going to have this shirt.
He's on it. Yeah, you're right.
And I think that helped him having Malacia there last season. And again, another player we've missed, like, not played a minute this season, out for the whole season, I believe, or at least most of the season.
What did you get from him last year, Malacia? Do you think he's good?
Yeah. I think he's good. I don't think he's, ripped the world up good. But, like, for £13 million, I think he's a very solid and capable backup.
In terms of those left backs, like I say, Delo's played left back, Lindelof's played left back, Reguilon's played left back,
Amrabat's
Shaw
played left back.
and Amrabat's played left back as well. 5 different left backs is not something you want to see. And of those 5, 2 of them are actually left backs. Not good. Defensive midfield. Another interesting one.
Here we go. This is where it starts to get interesting because the back line, I think, is more obvious.
So that was the bad bit, guys. Imagine. That was the bad bit. Stick around. Casemiro, 31, versus Kobbie Mainoo, 18 years old. Will Casemiro be sacrificed sooner than anticipated due to the rise of Mainoo? In terms of this rise of Mainoo as well.
I've got Amrabat in there as well, by the way. We've got to have Amrabat in there.
That's true. Oh, no, well, we've got him as a number 8 here, but we can put Amrabat in there. You want him in there? So actually, that's a good point. So with this, I'm happy for you to move people around.
He's not going to be playing as an 8. Amrabat is not going to play.
Fair. True, of course.
I think Casemiro's a weird one because maybe alongside Lissandro and Luke Shaw last season, maybe our player of the year, like definite contender for that. But
most important, him and Bruno Fernandes, most important players last year.
Yeah, well, Rashford as well. You know, he scored 30 or whatever.
Fair.
But I think I don't know what's happened because he looked really, really comfortable, and I kind of thought to myself when he first arrived, I thought, oh, looks a bit leggy here. Like for the first 6 games, it did look a bit leggy, and people were like, what's happened to Casemiro? And then he just refound his form, looked fitter and fitter and fitter, and by about February, everybody was like, he is looking really good. He was dominating games on and off the ball. This season, I have a little bit of a suspicion that the amount of football he played last year at United has caught up with him. He played more minutes last season at United in a single season than he ever has in his career.
Wow.
And I think at 31, like, that can catch up with you a little bit, especially with the intensity of those minutes in the Premier League.
In terms of those 3 then, Kobbie Mainoo, which again, I'm always reticent to
we haven't
put
seen him,
too much on him.
He hasn't played a Premier League minute yet.
No. So, and he's an 18, and of course you've got Amrabat as well. Who of the 3 there would you like to set and forget?
I think I will set Casemiro and Kobbie.
I don't think that works like that, does it? You got to pick one. Come on.
Well, I don't think I necessarily do because I think in my other midfield slot, I don't know whether I will be setting anyone. I would potentially be thinking about those 2 as a dynamic duo.
Okay.
At the moment,
oh wow. All right.
Whereas Amrabat, I think we've only seen him for 10 games or so, but so far it's a forget.
Number 8. So let's keep going with the midfield. I'm going to need a midfield. I'm going to have to push a 3 in midfield from you.
Yeah.
So we've got Eriksen. We've got McTominay, a 26-year-old. Be 31 by that point. Eriksen's 31. Donny van der Beek. Remember him? Poor bloke. What happened?
Well, he did his knee so badly he could barely walk, didn't he?
All right. And Amrabat, we put in that one, but he's already on the transfer. He's already in the transfer bin, so we'll talk about Amrabat later, see how much we can get for him. Although he's on loan, so he's going to go back, so we've already sorted out. Forget him.
But that's cost us probably 10 million.
Are you getting rid of all 3 of them?
What about Double M? Mason Mount. Because let's be real.
So I put Mason Mount in my attacking midfielder wing, so you are really ripping this up.
I know you did. But let's be absolutely real. He was signed to play in a midfield 3 with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes. That was the idea. The plan going into this season was to play Casemiro, Mount and Bruno. And we saw at the start of the season, those 3 play together.
Badly.
And it didn't really work.
Didn't really work, but I mean, one game's not enough.
It's not, and
right?
I genuinely think Mason Mount's a fabulous football. I think there's a really, really high level player.
Totally agree.
Mount offers much more energy in the midfield. Doesn't offer the game control and passing potentially, but was that a mistake? Spending if the midfield balance isn't working, when United so clearly needed and so clearly need a game-controlling central midfielder that could play for 90 minutes, would the money have been better spent, 60 million on Mount, on that player? Like, at the start of the season, I was saying, no, I love Mount. I'm buzzing that we've got Mount through the door. But given that he can't get a game, like Ten Hag has spent and clearly wanted him as one of the number one targets and has gone out and spent 60 million on him. But we're seeing every week McTominay and Eriksen start as a midfield too.
That's my confusion, right? And that's why I think Ten Hag's getting away with a lot here, because I think, so say like Kai Havertz, people going, is he a 9, is he a midfielder, whatever, right? We said this at the start of the season with this podcast. Positions are one thing, profiles are far more important. I believe Mason Mount could be a really, really, really good midfielder. I really think
Number 8.
I think there's no reason why
playing deeper than Bruno.
I think he's one of the smartest footballers I can see.
Incredible.
You can see his brain ticking.
And hard-working.
Okay, so midfield 3. Who are we having?
So am I saying Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount? I think, I'm saying Casemiro, Bruno, and Mount for now.
Bruno Fernandes is 29, which is interesting. I didn't realise he's that old.
Definitely, for me, is it set?
It's a set, right. Right wing.
What about it? Can I move it up? Can I play Mount as my right winger for now? Have a midfield 3 of Kobe, Casemiro, and Bruno, because I feel like the right wing options are really limited. Unless I can I play Garnacho out there?
You want to play Garnacho on the right?
Well, in an ideal world, no. But like, I'm going to have to get Garnacho in there somewhere, aren't I?
We don't have to. Well, you can
if
do whatever
my
you
options
want.
are set or forget, I need to keep Garnacho in the squad because he's amazing.
Okay, well, let's just run through these names then, because you're killing my running order here.
Sorry, I am.
Right wing, Anthony, who's 23. Amad Diallo,
Injured.
21. Yeah, you're missing a player there. He's one hell of a player. Palestri, still at the club, only 21. Amazed by
he's
that.
really young. Yeah,
I'm amazed by
mega
that.
young.
Fantastic for me on FM for QPR. Ten Hag has shown that he's quite loyal to Anthony, and that itself must be causing frustrations for the likes of Sancho. Can't buy a game. But is Anthony's price tag and the fact that Erik Ten Hag had him at Ajax making him more in favour at United despite being woeful? You saw how he was effective for Ajax. And that's another thing I just can't get past with Ten Hag. It's like, you're going to buy Onana, you're going to buy Anthony, you're going to buy Martinez, you're going to buy Højlund, and you're going to even buy like Mount, who could possibly, or you've got Bruno Fernandes there as well. Like, it could be a bit of a Tadic if you want it to be. And you're not going to go down that Ajax blueprint. It's just a nonsense for me.
In the Eredivisie, which is a problem for United, given that all of our
Luis
signings
Suarez
are
came from the
from
Eredivisie. Van Nistelrooy came from the Eredivisie.
So did
Ronaldo came from the
so did
Eredivisie.
Donny van der Beek.
I mean, I get that. I mean, but like, he's not been fit either. You're saying with the guy. You can't throw Donny van der Beek at me.
Well, there's a lot of There's
I
a lot
get
of
it.
struggles coming out of the
Klaassen,
Eredivisie.
remember him?
You know,
He struggled as well. But do you see what I mean? Like, because I think the frustration, my own frustration, is stop cutting back on your left foot.
but he's never going to do that, is he?
And
Premier
again,
League-
so
Premier League
find a
defensive-
structure that works. So find a system that works for that.
Premier League defences have worked that out,
but
quicker than Eredivisie defences, clearly.
But an overall the overall sort of movement should, if it's in place, allow you to get something out of a player like Anthony. And therefore, if you're not going to get that,
Yeah, there's a problem.
then he's got to go, isn't he?
So yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one, isn't it? Because I don't know what you do with him now.
Palestri, is he good?
I think he's good, but he's just so young and so raw. I think he needs a loan.
He's had a loan, hasn't he? He's had a couple of loans.
I think he's had one, to Alaves, was it? Or 6 months to Alaves?
I mean, maybe I'm thinking about FM again. But I just think, I'm intrigued.
But like, he didn't go on loan last season, did he?
Is the cavalry coming in the youth setup as well? I think that's also a thing that
with
kind
Ahmad.
of need. We've got Amad Diallo, Shoretiri, is that how you say it as well?
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing well. Although in Premier League 2, I think Man United 10th at the moment, so not killing it.
I think Ahmad is
With
just
Garnacho, of course.
just been so unlucky, hasn't he? When that space has become available on the right, he's just had that long-term injury.
And he
same with Cobby.
in the Championship, he's way too good for the Championship. So like he can contribute. Sorry, I can't speak now. Left wing. Well, so you're gonna have to pick. You're gonna have to essentially pick a team at the end of all of this. So Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho. I would like to lock these three in.
What I would probably, given that we're not picking Anthony right, I would just probably play Rashford on the right, not his ideal position, to be honest with you, and then Garnacho on the left.
Which of these three has the most potential in the next 5 years? You've got 26-year-old in Rashford. You've got 23-year-old in Jadon Sancho, and you've got 19-year-old in Garnacho.
Rashford. Because even when Garnacho, even in 5 years' time, he's only going to be 24, isn't he? So, like, he won't have hit his peak. Whereas Rashford can absolutely peak now and just be unplayable. But he's just.
But can he be unplayable on the right-hand side?
No, I think he's
You're
better
not
on the
getting
left.
Luke Shaw either.
I think he's better on the left. He's definitely better on the left. But
so make a decision. So you're saying Rashford over Garnacho?
But in a starting sense, yes. Like I think Garnacho is better and more effective as an impact substitute. But like I wouldn't forget Garnacho. Like he's such an important player for United already, and he's 19.
How do you feel about Jadon Sancho?
I just think it's probably time for the club and the player to part ways. I think that happens, doesn't it, at football clubs where there's a major disagreement, major falling out, and I think that it's best for all parties in this situation. If in January Jadon Sancho either on loan or on a permanent moves on, I think there are going to be issues with permanent transfers, given his wage. But I could see him going to Saudi.
Wow. This is the biggest talking point of the January transfer window for me. Like who he goes to, and when that's done.
Him?
I think there's obviously a Premier League move there for him. Like people would snap him up. Like you can imagine, like it's Lingard, isn't it? You could do a Lingard,
but on £300,000 a week.
Yeah, but obviously Man United would have to swallow some of that. It's. But
if they were selling him on a permanent, they're not going to be. And why does Jadon Sancho move to a club that's only going to pay him £150,000?
If it's on a permanent, I think it could be one where it's on a. There's something there where you go. Loan him somewhere. Let's use West Ham as an example. Loan to West Ham, does well, like Lingard. You've still got him on a big enough contract, and then you could actually get proper suitors for him and get solid money for him. He doesn't want to go to Saudi. There's no way, and he wants to play because he wants to get in the. He wants to have a little push at the Euros as well, which I don't think will happen because I don't think Southgate will get near.
I just think it's who can afford him. I don't see him staying in the Premier League.
So so your right wing and your left wing, you've decided
Rashford and Garnacho.
Do you know what? 20 minutes. Keep swapping sides. There you go. Everyone's happy.
Well, that'd be good. I'd love to see wingers swap sides a little bit because Anthony never plays on the left.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So, striker position, quick one, isn't it?
Højlund.
Højlund, obviously. I don't
really good. Although, now he's out for however long.
Yeah, but
what happens there?
Yeah, I think he'll be good as gold. Martial, it's time. Right, let's make some money. Can it be done? And of course, there's a Man United side that I think one of their biggest amounts of money that they've got back recently was Dan James, 30 million.
We're the
Great
worst
business.
selling club.
Great business. Bayindir, yet to play. Contract till 2027.
Squad player though, isn't he?
Tell you what I'll do.
Wouldn't be sold.
Because what I did with last week was that I said in 3 years' time, you sell them in 3 years' time. So some of these players you're not going to get money back because you might not have got the contract right. But they had so many players that contract was to 2030 that they were fine. But for you, Joe, because you're my golf buddy, I'm going to let you sell them whenever you can sell them.
Okay.
For as much as you can sell them. Okay. Bayindir, 2027.
Well, he's just a backup keeper, isn't he? So
what do you want for him? Kai's going to calculate this at the end.
He'll probably still be there, man, and he'll be the backup keeper. So 0.
Let's okay. All right. Not making it easy for yourself. Delo, 2028. Currently in 2023,
Long
guys.
Contract, man. He just signed that contract.
So you could get a couple of years out of him within this 5-year period.
I think he would be hot property in the European market, don't I? Like, let's not forget, it was only 6 months ago Madrid were making inquiries into Diogo Dalot. I don't think that Diogo Dalot would go there necessarily. Yeah, man. Obviously,
Real Madrid. I think that is the one bizarre thing.
They are looking for like the Carvajal sort of like.
Yeah.
And I think he has some suitors on the continent, man.
Yeah, I think you get some solid cash for him.
People liked him at Milan.
Yeah, you could see him. You could see him getting a solid move. Will he get solid money? How much will you get?
Yeah, I think you'd be looking at 30, 40 million for him.
I'll give you I would be super generous and I'll give you 35.
Wow, I don't even think that's
You think
a
he's worth
generous
40
amount,
million?
man. Yeah, 25-year-old fullback, I think. Portugal international, I think it's.
Guess so.
I think 30, 40
He's not.
million.
He's not Hakimi or
No,
Trent
but they'd
or
be
any
going,
of these dudes.
but they'd be
is
going
it?
for 100, wouldn't they?
Yeah. All right, I'll give you. Do you know what? I'm going to be super generous because I think it's going to get ugly. I'll give you. I can't give you 40. 37. 37, Kai. Varane.
I don't think United make money on Varane, do they?
2026, so he's got 2 years left. You could sell him in the next summer.
I think Varane will definitely have suitors in Saudi.
Yeah.
I think him and Casemiro, I could see United entertaining big offers for them in the summer.
In January?
Honestly. Maybe. Like I don't think they would sell them, but I think they're the type of players, aren't they, that are very Saudi Pro League, like massive profiles, won it all.
Yeah.
Captain of Brazil,
Yeah,
Casemiro, Varane still in and around. Is he still in and around the France squad or is he retired now? I can't remember. Either way,
Played in the last tournament, didn't he? For
big
sure.
names.
Yeah.
Like
Do you, you've got to be a moment in your career. You go,
15 mil
do you know
for
what?
Varane?
Do you know, look at everything I've won. Do you know what? I'd like some money, please.
10 mil for Varane.
10 mil.
15 from the Saudis.
31-year-old at this point.
From the Saudis.
50. Yeah, I'll give you
How
that.
much did they pay for Jordan Henderson? It was like 15, wasn't it?
Yeah. I can't remember
Maybe.
now.
If they paid
Maybe more.
15 for Jordan, I want 20 for Varane.
Okay. 20
This is from Saudi Arabia here.
with 1 year left on his contract. Do you know what? I'll give you 20 for Varane. I'll give you 20 for Varane.
I don't think. Yeah. How old is Lindelof? 27.
I've got it here somewhere. He is currently 29.
He's 29 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, older than I thought.
Hoping a bit younger, don't we?
Ooh.
So he will be
10?
Let's say he's about 30.
He's got a year left.
Year left. You could see him. You could see him being very useful for a lot of Premier League sides.
Definitely. I think he's a decent player, Lindelof.
Oh, yeah, I think he'd get 12.
Okay.
Malacia, 2027. Years left on the clock.
I would keep Malacia as a squad player, man.
You're gonna keep him.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't want that money. Let's see what he can do. McTominay. Interesting.
Ooh, well, what did we reject? 35, was it?
Did
From West
you?
Ham in the summer? 30? Might have been 30, I think we rejected.
Do you know what you do? You keep playing him as a striker, sell him for striker money.
If I think we rejected 30, let's say we can deal at 35. Even though I would, I think 30 was probably a fair bid by West Ham.
Yeah, I agree.
I think United wanted 40, and it never.
A year less on the contract. Do you think you'll get 35? He has proven he can score goals, hasn't he?
Never say never, mate.
Sure, I'll give you that. 35. Ericsson,
I think his contract will be up, will it?
2025.
I don't think United make money on Ericsson. Zero. If
Goodbye.
we're being honest.
Goodbye. Go back to Brentford, maybe. Van der Beek, 2026. 2026.
Wow, has it? He's still got that long left.
Ta-
10 mil.
Take 5. Mejbri, interesting.
Hannibal.
What do we think? How do you feel about him?
Squad player, definitely keep.
Yeah, you like him, do
Yeah,
you?
I like him,
Can you
man.
trust him?
I actually like him. I think he needs to control his temperament a little bit on the field, but I really like his attitude. I think he is technically very sound as well. Just needs to a little
Calm,
few
little bit.
deep
Yes.
breaths. So I would be keeping Hannibal as a squad player, definitely.
Anthony, 2028. So this is the question. I did want to say, like,
Gonna have
then,
to open this up to you.
him at
really.
his best, how much is he worth? Let's do that. Let's say that it's, we're in the depths of it right now, and that's often the truth. Is like, it's not as bad as you think.
Do we say 40?
Yeah, surely. Young, 2028, sort of locked in from that point of view. I think someone would definitely pick him up. I think 40's fair. I mean, what a loss. Diallo.
Oh, he's got to be a keep, man. I like about Hannibal. If I'm allowed to keep Hannibal and Colby, he's got to be a keep because he's actually a potential starter.
But do you know what you're doing here with a lot of these guys? Is, like we were saying, Cole Palmer, you were saying, it's okay to sell sometimes.
Yeah,
There's some money that you could bring in some good money for Diallo.
No,
if
but
you
the
wanted.
difference is that Man City have a squad that will enable that to happen, whereas we do not.
Palestri 2026.
I think there'd be some money for Palestri in 2026, man. Given that he starts for Uruguay and we've got World Cups in between, I think that there's money to be had there. I think potentially 30 million.
Has he proven himself anywhere?
Well, no, because he's 21. He's only started a handful of games, But he's very, very highly rated. And I like him when he comes on, man. He looks dangerous. Like, he just gets in behind. He works the byline. I think the Fulham goal largely was down to his work rate off the ball as well. That Bruno Fernandes scored. I like him, man.
Mr. Sancho, 2027.
Okay, Saudis.
What can we
Get your
hear?
cash
Can
out.
we talk?
50 mil.
50 mil from the Saudis. He's not going to go to the Saudis.
Why not?
He's just not, is he? He's a player in the prime of his career. He wants to play in front of 600 people. I just don't think he's going to do that. He's not about the money just yet. You go to Saudi for the money. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Sancho
obviously.
doesn't need to do that. Like, he's a guy who's brave enough to leave Man City.
Who's going to
to go
pay
to Dortmund?
the 50 mil then in Europe?
Are you telling me that no one's going to want Sancho? No one's going to be willing to pay 50 million for Sancho?
In real world, I think he goes on loan and then joins Saudi in the summer.
What about AC Milan or Inter Milan?
Do they pay 50 mil?
Go play with Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
All
Go
right,
play with the boys.
Let's say AC Milan come in, 50 million quid, pay him his money. Good luck to him. I hope he does well because I actually think there's definitely a good player in there.
For sure. Okay, we'll do 50 million. And Martial, his contract's up in 2025.
I mean, 0. His contract's up in the summer.
Oh, is it?
I believe so. I think he maybe is an optional extra year. But
It's an
whether
option.
or not United choose to accept
Yes.
that, I would be surprised.
Okay. So what we have here is a war chest for insert manager here.
Eric?
Is you sticking with me?
Yeah.
Okay. 199.
200 million of sales.
200 million sales.
That's big money.
What is everyone worried about?
Exactly.
Money to be made.
Plus
there.
the gym.
Oh, it's all looking good. Okay.
Stick it straight on Frankie.
Yeah? Get it, Frankie. Get it done.
200 million of sales. Very unlikely. I think extremely unlikely.
Sure. And amazingly, didn't take money for Palestri, didn't take money for Diallo,
Mainu.
didn't take money for Mainu. So maybe it'll be all right. Once again, the big club gets away with it. Congratulations.
Well, we probably won't though, will we? Because
50 mil for
eat
Sancho.
my own hat if we get those sales done.
Okay. So a minimum of 150 needs to be coming in very, very
And there
soon.
needs to be some big signings.
Exactly. Yeah. How quickly does that get gobbled up?